So recently I came in contact with a company that makes some quite interesting product, or that is what I think, and that is basically the PeakDo product. The PeakDo product is something that is still in Kickstarter when I'm making this video. But what we're going to find inside the case is quite interesting, because it's something that I personally never reviewed here on the channel. Yeah, it's not an handheld, yeah, we have like reviewed dozens of these things. This is actually a handheld that you can stream your game system at. Think about an Xbox, a PlayStation, or just a PC. But when you're looking at some of these, let's say, hardware, we do have like software where we can basically like stream our games to a certain platform or a certain product that we have seen in many videos before. But if you're having like a mini PC, an Xbox system, a PlayStation 4, or actually maybe like a PlayStation 5, you can just send your image or your signal through this device and have like a portable way to play. Okay, inside we're going to get ourselves like the paper over here. It just explains how you need to connect it and where you need to look out for. The only thing I was missing with mine is just connecting or syncing the both joysticks. It's basically like a Nintendo Switch like a lookalike, only this thing weighs way heavier. So the thing weighed around 350 grams. It's not much, but you do feel it when holding it. But inside this package we're going to get everything that we're going to need. First of all, the charger, not to forget. This is like the normal USB charger and the Type-C. So then we have like the Type-C to Type-C connection cable. We're going to get a USB to Type-C and another USB to Type-C. Then we have like the HDMI, let's say the converters, and the reason why sometimes you need to have like, or better said, you always need to have like this dongle inside, or basically like you need to show it to a certain position, otherwise the system won't recognize the signal and there's nothing happening. And yeah, you do have like needing an angle sometimes, because if you're going to plug it straight into your system, you're not going to get the right signal, and I will show you later what I mean. Then we have like this tiny dongle over here. This dongle will be communicating with your Joy-Cons. This is basically how they configured everything. The HDMI huge dongle for the signal, and this tiny one you're going to put in front of it, of your, let's say, PlayStation 5 or another system that will connect to the Joy-Cons. But how about the Joy-Cons in general? They're like Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, but only like different versions, or better said, like aftermarket. What I do like about them is like they have like this very nice curve, and they feel very comfortable for big hands. And overall quality is not bad at all, and I must say I was very pleased with these. Also, it comes with a normal D-pad, where we have like with the normal Joy-Cons we have like these 4 buttons. But overall, like, I really like it how they feel and how they look. When you slide them in the system itself, I personally really love it how they slide in. They feel like a really quality one. This one has a little bit more, let's say, resistance. But when you're looking at the way how they basically connect with this, you can also feel it with this Joy-Con, with my version. It slides in way more easier than the other version. And also with a little bit of an, let's say, a wiggle to it. It's nothing much of a big wiggle. And when you're holding it, you don't really notice it that much, but you can feel it. But okay, so let's take a close look at the system itself. Personally, I really love the quality of the case itself. It's made out of metal. But the thing is, it's very good they did this, because this thing getting really hot after using some time. There is also a built-in fan. Here we have like basically the communication device, so you need to hold it to a certain point, otherwise you cannot, let's say, get the signal itself. But holding it in your hand, it's not like too heavy. Then on top we're going to get all of the connections. So at the right side we're going to get 2 Type-C connections, even Type-C 3.1, and what I understand of one of them can even connect it to a monitor, and then over having like the HDMI connection. At the left side we're going to get ourselves the on and off switch over here, and all the function buttons including volume. So when powering on, instantly the fan inside will start spinning. And my camera seems to be unfocusing. Oh yeah. But okay, so let's take a closer look at the device itself. So as you can see over here, it just gives me like a blue screen because there is no signal. Yeah. So I'm pressing the on and off switch a single time. What you're going to get is this extra menu. And there we're going to configure everything and can see if we have like any signal whatsoever. But then we have basically a lot of options that we can choose from. What you can see over here, we're having the source, the type, and of course the Wi-Fi enabled and the battery life itself. So when going to a different option, then we have like even to change out the colors, and then we have like some extra gaming modes which you can change over here, including 3D sound. Did try it out, was not a big fan of it, but also like we have sharpness and all kinds of cool like gaming mode. We can even adjust it over here. Normally what you want to do, or what I wanted to do, is basically like plug in the HDMI dongle like this. But if you're going to do this, we will not get any signal. So the thing that we need to do is getting thing like outside of the freaking console. So we're going to use this tiny like corner HDMI adapter, and we're going to plug this thing in here like this. And that's basically what you need to do for the device itself. If you have any problems, you can basically touch this tiny button over here and sync it with the system. The device itself does need power. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is basically plug in the device itself over here for the controls. And that's it. So let's fire on the system itself. So the system has been booted up, everything has been plugged in, and I must say, like, when basically connecting the device, it was quite easy to do. So this is basically the general idea. So if you're going to play on the couch and you don't have an extra screen, you can just use the PeakDo. So I must say that I was quite intrigued by this idea, and that's the reason I just wanted to review it. So unfortunately, what you can see over here, my buttons don't work. I do have like in the beginning some issues with this. So let's connect it and let's see if we can basically like get this thing to work. But what happens if you're just going to put it on the table and it is not in connection with the dongle? Here you can see what happens basically. This thing goes like in and out with the signal, and that's just basically the main thing what the thing does. So when you're going to basically grab it, you're going to put it in front of the PlayStation, then it works without any problem. But the biggest fight I was having is with these bloody Joy-Cons. I don't know what's going on, but the one always connects and I also have issues with the other one. I've been messing around with it before even making the video, and after realizing I needed to hold the second controller for a very long time, even the setting button, sometimes it did connect and sync with the other controller. That's the only thing of having like a complaint that I didn't really like in general. See, that's it. And before making this video, I configured everything and tried it out. I just want to be honest with you all. So I did have some troubles with the Joy-Con. Somehow mine, like, they configure, they sync, and when they are like plugging it and plugging it in something else, it's going to be like the same mumbo jumbo all over again. Maybe it can be a faulty pair of them. Don't know, don't care to be honest at this point. The thing is basically like when you're going to plug in the dongle. So what they said in the videos, you need to configure one. So what you're going to do is holding this tiny button, and rapidly the tiny LED goes from left to right to basically syncing it. So you need to wait. It will show you that you're going to get yourself like controller port number 1 if everything should work. After doing this, so the next thing you need to do is holding the 2 shoulder buttons. The LED on the stick will start blinking again. The reason it's going to be opening it up for the second controller to be synchronized with the number 1 controller. The same thing what you need to do is press the tiny button. Rapidly the LEDs go from left to the right. It will take some time, but after some time you will get the same controller synchronized, and then we have the controls synchronized to the system itself, or better said, the dongle. Alright, so after messing around with the Joy-Cons, finally got these bloody things to work. Now I need to plug in the HDMI dongle, or it was already plugged in, but it seems to be not working anymore. So the thing that we need to do is pressing the tiny button over here. So we're going to resync the system with basically the wireless display. Everything has been in good standing, so we have like Wi-Fi capability. Everything has been configured, so we need to set this thing up. But there was one particular thing I was really excited about. It's just playing some PlayStation 5 games on a portable device like this. Okay, so everything has been set up and I'm finally ready to play. But there was only one downside I already noticed. So I want to play one of my favorite games, Destruction All-Stars, but guess what? I couldn't even basically like have the option to play it because the Joy-Cons doesn't support it at the moment. It says in Dutch language that it doesn't support the controller I'm using now. So yeah, that's a little bit of a bummer. So what you need to do, I think some fellow YouTubers or creators did some, let's say, videos where they used the display as just a display and use the PlayStation 5 controllers and combine that. I don't have basically a PlayStation 5 button holder, so yeah. Let's go on with the PlayStation 4 games. The next thing that we need to do is basically boot up a PlayStation 4 game, because that's actually the thing that we can play on this. Because the Joy-Cons or fake Joy-Cons or the PeakDo Joy-Cons are basically compatible with the PlayStation 4 game. Don't have internet, and see, that's the reason why I hate bloody digital games. I don't have internet, so you cannot boot up the game. No, you cannot. That is why I hate digital games. The only thing I don't hate is like Steam games. They're digital, but you know, I love Steam. You can just play those games offline. But everything has been set up. I must say that I had quite a good experience when it comes to gaming on this device. Of course, you can just slap in any, let's say, Joy-Cons because they're using the same kind of rail like the Nintendo Switch. So it's quite an interesting idea. The display they're using looks absolutely amazing. Okay, but when you're looking at, let's say, Steam, for example, in combination with big picture mode, and of course, if you have set up the freaking Joy-Cons like every single time, you can just play your games like this, boot them up and just have like a lot of fun. I think it's a beautiful, let's say, experience. Also to have like a very cool screen. Everything looks and works very nice. So let's play a couple of games just for fun. When you're looking at the overall product, I must give like PeakDo some extra credits, or better said, wicked kudos, for just bringing something new to the table when it comes to handheld gaming. So with this product they want to focus on, let's say, the best experience when it comes to, let's say, wireless gaming. But I must say they did achieve it with this. And I must say that I'm very satisfied with the result. Also coming with a very beautiful display, it is a very awesome experience. I must point out that when playing around with this for some time, I did have like this syncing issue every single time when plugging in a new device or trying to reboot a system. That's a little bit unfortunate, but again, maybe that's just a problem with my Joy-Cons I'm having over here. I don't know exactly how long this thing will last, but I see like it's around like 40% and I'm using it for, let's say, 45 minutes. So the battery life of this thing is not going to be extremely well. Let me know in the comments what do you think of this overall performance, and also like what do you think of the general idea. Thanks for watching, consider subscribing, hit the little bell, and it would be great to see you in the next video.